Today I'm sewing a classic and sophisticated everyday jacket. This is the Mariana jacket by fabricstore.com. It's one of their many wonderful free patterns. This jacket has wonderful details like welt pockets and a notched collar. The fabric that I'm using today is a heavyweight linen in a classic lavender color by LiQWYD. LiQWYD carries a large variety of cottons, linens, and blends in varying weights, making them perfect for everything from apparel to home decor. I've left a link to the pattern and the fabric below so you can check out all the details, grab your materials, and sew along with me. So grab that pattern, cut out your fabric, mark your notches, and let's get started. Apply interfacing to the wrong sides of your front facings, your back facing, and your undercollar. Also cut 2 pieces of interfacing using your welt pattern piece. These interfacings will be fused to the inside of the jacket. On your front bodice pattern piece, you have lines indicating where we're going to be applying the welt pocket. Transfer the line for your size onto the right side of your fabric. Fold your welt pieces in half the long way, right sides together, and pin or clip the short edges. Sew the short ends for both pieces with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Once these are sewn, trim your seams to about 1/4 inch. Also trim those inner corners. Now we can turn the welts right side out and poke out the corners. Then give them both a good press. Now we're going to place our welt on the right side of our bodice piece. Align the raw edges of your welt with the line that you drew on your fabric. The raw edges of your welt should be facing your side seam. Pin in place along that line. Now grab one of your pocket pieces and align the straight edge of your pocket again with the line that we drew onto the fabric. And add that to the pinning. Now take your remaining pocket from that set and align the straight edge of that pocket right up against the straight edge of the opposite pocket. And pin in place. Before we sew these pockets in place, we want to make marks along the straight edges of the pocket to let us know where the welt ends. Find the very end of your welt. I'm going to use a fabric marker to mark the end of that welt on my fabric pieces. Do this on both sides of the welt. Now we're going to take this to the machine and do 2 rows of stitching. For both sides of the pocket, we're going to stitch 3/8 inch away from the straight edge. We're going to start our stitching at the mark that we drew on the pocket, backstitching to secure, and stitch all the way to the other mark on the pocket. Again, backstitching to secure. Now that we have those pockets stitched in place, we're going to turn this over to the right side. And then we're going to slash between these 2 lines of stitching. We want the line that we cut to start and stop 3/8 inch before the end of the stitching. After we've cut that area open, we're going to use sharp scissors to snip diagonally to the tip of our stitching, being careful not to snip beyond the stitching. Do this for all 4 corners of the welt. Now your welt should look like this, with little triangular pieces at each edge. Now we can reach through this slit and pull the pockets out to the wrong side of the garment. Working from the right side of the garment, you can give these seams a light press. Now we're going to take the pocket that's closest to the side seam, place it right on top of the other pocket, and pin the pocket edges together. These little triangles at the short ends of your welts should also be on the inside of your garment and pointed away from the welt on both sides. We're going to sew all around each of the pockets, and as we sew, we're also going to be sewing these edges of the pocket to those little triangles. Make sure that as you sew, you move the body of your garment out of the way so that you're only sewing the triangles and the pockets together. You're going to be sewing around these pockets with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and as close to the crease of that triangle as possible. As I was stitching the triangular edges of that welt area to the pocket, I found that it was easier to start on one side and sew the majority of the pocket, and then backstitch to secure my stitching, and then start a fresh set of stitches on the other side to complete the stitching. This helped me to have better control and accuracy while stitching that triangle. Now I want to finish the raw edges of this pocket, so I'm going to take it to my serger. Disarming my serger blade allowed me to easily sew all around this pocket without the risk of cutting into my project. But for finishing the edges of the pocket underneath, it's a little bit too tight for me to serge. So one alternative method would be to use fray check to seal these ends and make sure that they don't fray. Now I'm going to turn the bodice to the right side. I've given this pocket a nice press, and the last thing that we have to do is top stitch these ends of the welt to the bodice. I'm just going to pin them in place so that the edge of the welt lays nicely over the opening, so that when I top stitch, it conceals any gap there. Do this on both sides. Take it to your machine and edge stitch close to the edges of those welts, back stitching at the beginning and at the end. Repeat all of these steps to attach your welt in your pocket to the other side of your bodice. Place your front bodice pieces right sides together with your back bodice piece. And pin together your shoulder seams. Sew your shoulder seams with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and finish your seams with a zigzag stitch or your serger. Place your facing pieces right sides together and match your shoulder seams. Pin in place. Sew these seams with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and press your seams open. Now using a zigzag stitch or your serger, we're going to finish the outer edges of the facing all the way around. Start from the bottom outer edge, all around the top curve of the back facing, and then back down to the opposite bottom edge. Now we're going to place the undercollar right sides together with the neckline of the bodice. I've marked the center of the undercollar and the center of the back bodice with a pin. Now I'm going to match them up and pin them in place. Continue pinning this rounded edge of the undercollar to the neckline until you get to the notches that you marked from your pattern piece. Note the notches on your undercollar, which should align with your shoulder seams. And also note that the undercollar will extend beyond the notches on your bodice by 3/8 of an inch on both sides. Now we're going to sew the undercollar to the neckline, starting and stopping at the notches on the bodice, backstitching at both notches to secure. Now we're going to attach the upper collar to the facing in the exact same way as we did to attach the undercollar to the jacket, matching them together at the center back, the shoulder seams, and the front notches. Now we can sew the upper collar to the facing just as we did for the main jacket, sewing from notch to notch as marked on the front facing pieces, backstitching at the beginning and end of your stitches. Now that that's attached, take this to your ironing board and press these seams open all the way across. And do the same for your undercollar on your main jacket as well. Now place your upper collar and undercollar right sides together and pin the long straight edges. Sew the long straight edge all the way across with the 3/8 inch seam allowance, backstitching at both ends to secure. Now that these collars are attached, we're going to push the seam allowance toward the undercollar, which is interfaced. And from the right side of the garment, we're going to understitch, sewing the seam allowance to the undercollar from one side to the other with about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now place the front facing right sides together with the center front of the bodice and pin in place from top to bottom. Make sure that you align your notches at the center of that center front. Now we can sew this seam from top to bottom with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Do this for both sides of the facing. Now at each of those notches in your center front bodice, right at the bottom of your lapel, we're going to clip further into that notch to the stitching line and not beyond. Do this on both sides of the front jacket. Now we're going to open out that facing, and we're going to understitch the facing. This notch that we just created will help us separate the seam allowance so we can sew half of the seam allowance to one side and the other half to the other side. For the bottom half of the seam allowance, you're going to press it toward the facing, and working from the right side of the garment, you're going to understitch, stitching the seam allowance to the facing 1/8 of an inch away from the original stitching line. From the bottom of the jacket to the notch, back stitching to secure. And then for the upper half of the seam allowance, you're going to press the seam allowance toward the jacket, and you're going to stitch the seam allowance from the notch, back stitching to secure, to the top of the facing. Do this on both sides of your jacket. Now we're going to start sewing this section where the collar meets the lapel. Turn your front facing so that it faces your bodice, and the two collar pieces here should be facing right sides together. We're going to sew this notched collar area in 2 separate steps. We'll start with the front facing of the front jacket. Pin this section together from seam to seam. Now we're going to sew from the outer edge, back stitching to secure, straight across with a 3/8 inch seam allowance right to the point where the previous stitching ended, and back stitch to secure. Make sure that underneath all of these seam allowances are pressed out of the way. Now that that first half is sewn in place, we can pin the other half. Sew this section in place once again from where the previous stitching ended, straight across with a 3/8 inch seam allowance, back stitching to secure. Making sure once again that these seam allowances are pressed out of the way. Now we can turn this section of the collar right side out, poking out our corners. Now that the notched collar is completed on this side, repeat all the same steps to finish the collar on the opposite side of the jacket. Now you can give all of those facing and collar seams a really good press. Open out your front and back bodices so that the right side of the material is facing you. Now we're going to start attaching our sleeves. Place your sleeve and the jacket right sides together, making sure that you match the notches that indicate front and back, and pin in place. Sew the top of your sleeve to the front and back jacket pieces with a 3/8 inch seam allowance, and then finish your seams in your preferred method. And do this for both sleeves. Now we can place our front and back jacket pieces right sides together, as well as each of the sleeves, and pin this entire seam from the bottom hem to the bottom of the sleeve. Make sure to perfectly align that underarm seam. Then you're going to stitch from the bottom of the hem to the bottom of the sleeve with a 3/8 inch seam allowance, and then finish your seams. Try on your jacket so that you can determine how wide you want your bottom hem to be. The width of my bottom hem is going to be 1 inch. I've gone ahead and folded up and pressed this hem all the way across the bottom of the jacket by 1 inch. I've done this with my front facings facing out flat. I'm going to take the facing and temporarily fold it so that it's right sides together with the front of the jacket. Folding it right along its seam line. Pin the bottom of that facing to the bottom of the jacket. Now I'm going to sew the bottom of the facing to the bottom of the jacket with a 1 inch seam allowance, from the side seam to the serging stitches of the facing, and do this on both sides. Now that that facing is stitched in place, go ahead and trim that outer corner. To minimize some of the bulk here, you can also trim the facing seam allowance only, to about 1/4 of an inch. Now turn that facing right side out and poke out the corner. Do the same on the opposite end of the jacket. Now I'm going to roll this hem. I'm going to take that outer raw edge and fold it to the crease, and then on the crease and pin in place all the way across. To keep your pockets from flapping around on the inside, you can tuck the seam allowance of the pocket into the hem of the jacket, and then catch that bottom seam of the pocket as you sew. Once we're done pinning the hem all the way across, we're going to edge stitch close to this inner fold all the way across. Follow that same width of stitching so that our stitching reaches all the way from the center front edge to the opposite center front edge. We're going to hem the bottom of the sleeves in the same way. I've taken them to my ironing board and folded up those hems to the wrong side by 1 inch. And now I'm going to roll the hem in the same way as we did for the bottom of the jacket, tucking that raw edge to the crease and then pinning that in place all the way around. Do this for the bottoms of both of your sleeves and then edge stitch close to that inner fold all the way around. Use your front bodice pattern piece to mark the position of your button and buttonholes. Now that I have that mark in place, I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and sew the buttonhole. Sew on your button. Give your jacket a nice final press and you're all done. Thank you for watching this sew along. Make sure you check out my other videos for more great sewing inspiration, and I'll see you in the next video.